Hello everyone, and today I'll share with you my favorite free resources to learn web development. Okay, let's start off with FreeCodecom. FreeCodecom is a non-profit organization and it aims to help people learn how to code for free. It does that by giving you a set of challenges. Let's say you want to learn HTML, you can go in here. See, I haven't done one here because I think they added a new one. Yeah, I think they added a new one here. I haven't done it yet, but getting off course. Let's say you want to learn HTML. This is just basic HTML and HTML5, and basically just do the challenges. Let's say the challenges tells you to say hello to HTML elements. In here you have set of objectives. There's usually more here, but because starts you off with the least demanding one, all you have to do is the H1 element should have the text hello world. It only has hello, so in here it shows you, describes what the challenge is going to be about and what you might need to achieve completion of the challenge. So let's say in here this is pretty straightforward. The H1 element should have hello world. What you do is just complete the whatever the objective is in here. It also tells you what should happen in here. Run the test, and when it is completed you get a check mark, and then you go to the next challenge. Also, this website provides you with free guides, which I think you can find over here. Sometimes you can find them over here. You can also look for guides on the news page. Don't think you can go through specific ones over here, but you can search for a specific topic over here. So let's say you want to learn recursion. Just type in recursion here, and you have understanding recursion in programming. I think this is the first one. Yeah, I think Bo, as the guy have learned from about recursion. I think it's actually the same. No, it's not. It's not the same article, but I think it was by the same person. I think it was a different one before. But yeah, like you can find a lot of useful information on here for sure. It is a great way for beginner to start getting to coding because it is very easy to do so. Like, gives you a lot of information at first. Obviously HTML and CSS will be the easiest ones to learn at the beginning, but then you get into JavaScript and it will get a bit harder. That's why what I will recommend, upon every time you reach the end of the course, you need to do projects. I always have done those projects. Great way to learn the new skills you acquired, and also throughout the whole course, when you learn, when you when you're working on the project, on the challenges, these should be um, supplemented by something like MDN, which which I will talk about later in the video. It's a MDN is a documentation repository for web development, which is very useful. Also, this is not going to be free, but you could also buy a book to supplement FreeCodecom with. And if you want me to recommend books for web development, let me know in the comments down below and I'll try to give you some recommendations. I think that will be it for FreeCodecom right now. It is very easy to get into, and if you like the basic HTML and HTML5 course, you'll probably get hooked and start doing more and more and more. Eventually you'll start doing bigger projects. Even a tribute page. That's a big project for a beginner, and definitely makes you learn new stuff. Next we have a course. It is a free course, but you can also pay to get certification for the course upon completion of that course. But I'm not sure if you need to. It is mostly just like a resource. You can complete the course, complete the ending project, and you can learn a lot from it. I have not completed this course yet. I have heard good things about this course. It's called CS50. It's from Harvard University, and the most important thing is it is free from a university. Okay, it's probably a great way to learn programming first. The reason for that is it doesn't require prior experience with programming. I think it's somewhere here that says with or without prior program experience. I have enrolled into this course today, a couple hours ago actually. I've been recommended this course by a friend, and I'll definitely be doing this every weekend, couple of hours, a weekend. Um, I have also learned that they recently added web development to the topics, because before it was all about software development. Maybe that is why I haven't heard about this course before. Mostly I just enrolled into this course because I want to see how the university teaches people, because I'm mostly self-taught, so I really want to see what goes on in the university, how they teach people programming. It is computer science 50, right? So I would love to see it, and I'll definitely recommend people to enroll into this course, mostly because it is free. It is a university-made course. It means it is probably very well made, and you can learn a lot with it. That is all I have for now, because I haven't done anything in this course yet. But I know that when I started to learn about programming, about web development, I would love to hear about this course, because it is free and it is from a university. It's from Harvard University, so I only learned about this course a while ago, like not long ago, about I think a month ago. I only first enrolled today. If you never heard about this and you want to start coding, I'll definitely recommend this course, even though I haven't done it yet. But it's Harvard University. Next up for you, I have Codec Academy. Anybody that is into the coding world knows about this website. I would assume so, because I know, and I'm pretty new to coding. Um, it gives you online courses, both free and pro paid ones. I've mostly used Code Academy for the free courses because it provides you a basic introduction to a specific programming language. If you want to learn more about it and create projects with the language you're learning on this website, you would have to pay some money. I think it is a monthly subscription, if I'm not wrong. I might be wrong about that. I haven't used this website a lot, but it is a great way for beginners to start coding as well. If you want to learn a new language, um, I don't think I learned, and I don't think I ever learned. Oh no, I think I've learned HTML on this website, but it was a long time ago. The most recent thing that I learned on this website was React, I think. Yes, it was React, and it was the free version, which provided me with basic, basic syntax to the language, and obviously you have to supplement with that with other online resources. Even Stack Overflow is a great way to learn new stuff, although I would not recommend for beginners to ask questions on Stack Overflow because it is it is full of let's say I don't know, I don't want to be negative, but it is mostly like full of pretentious, you know, um, coders that think they are the best, and they mostly just want to hate on you because you ask a stupid question. You know, um, I just don't recommend doing that for a beginner because you will just get discouraged. Um, and you will just get discouraged and stop trying to code. The best thing to do as a beginner is just to research and use the free online resources, as well as if you can spend some money on great books that are not very expensive or very useful for just investing into yourself. Um, Code Academy has a wide range of programming languages. The most important ones for web development is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You also have SQL, PHP, and like I said, I have learned it was React, I think, on this website. I'm not logged in now, so I'm not sure. Yes, they have a lot of React courses. I think this is the one I've used. It was a while ago, but it obviously has uh, pro pricing as well. So for students, for individuals, but I mostly use it as a free introduction to a certain programming language. It is oh, it's loading pretty slow, but it's fine. Um, it is a similar way of learning as in FreeCodecom, where you get the space to code in and live preview of what you're doing as you type. So I would recommend FreeCodecom for beginners when they want to start learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But when you want to add more skills to, um, if you want to learn more skills, you can for sure use Code Academy because it gives you um, basic, like really, let's say really basic syntax to the programming language. I wouldn't recommend it for learning how JavaScript because you have FreeCodecom. I think this is the free version and it only gives you 11 lessons, where you compare that to FreeCodecom and you get a lot more lessons in JavaScript. But if you want to learn something like a new library for, let's say, JavaScript like React, I would definitely recommend that because it will give you like a basic understanding of what is going on, and you will definitely learn fairly quickly, especially after, if you know how to code in JavaScript, getting getting the hang of a new syntax uh, should be the like the hardest way, the hardest thing to do before you start coding in a new language, in a library. As long as you know one fairly complex language, you'll be fine with the rest of them, as long as you know the syntax. So yeah, that is a Code Academy, and let's move on to the next one. Next free online resource that I think it is pretty useful is the CSS Tricks website, which provides you with a lot of ways to use CSS on your website, and it gives you some insights of other people using CSS properties and how you can make the most out of the CSS and how to make sure everything is laid out properly. Um, the best tutorials or guides I found on this website was about Flexbox and Grid. I really like uh, the way these authors made these guides. It is very well made, I think. It is well explained. It is very easy, even for a beginner, for a person that literally started 2 months into CSS and HTML and CSS. It's very easy for a person to um, start start learning about Flexbox, which is the new way of laying out content on the website. Before it was, I think it was floats. Yes, I think it was floats, and then even before that, it was tables, which is a very old way and nobody uses it. But floats are still relevant, mostly because there are still older websites that use floats. As well, some older websites still use tables, but um, you will less likely to come across those. But let's say you want to learn um, how to create, let's say, a I don't know, a responsive table on your website. So let's say tables. I'll just type in tables in here. And I will recommend for people to use this website when you know a little bit about CSS and you have had some experience with CSS. You have actually created a page or two with CSS before. Um, I specifically wanted to highlight Flexbox and Grid because I think it is important to learn Flexbox and Grid in 2022, even before, right? It is very important to learn this stuff now because it is very easy and very efficient way to display content on your website now. But let's say you want to just create a responsive table, you can literally find anything on here about CSS. It just gives you best approaches, how to do it. It is great. I'll literally do. I will recommend that anytime, for sure. And most importantly, it is free. And if you know how to use free resources, you'll do great. Okay, the next resource I have for you is MDN. It is the best documentation repository for web development, in my opinion, and I think every web development um, person, web developer, would agree with that statement because it gives you a lot of information to, let's say, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, APIs, HTTP. There's a lot of information on pretty much every topic when it comes to web development. Let's say you want to know, I don't know, let's say you want to know what overflow does uh, in CSS. You literally type overflow and you have explanation on what overflow is. syntax, all the ways, all the values of that property you can use. Gives you explanation of the values even in here. Um, Gives you even more description of the property, and then it gives you examples of the syntax, um, how you can use the property in your HTML file. It also gives you browser compatibility, although there's another one, there's another resource which I won't be covering fully in this video, but it is called, I think, Can I Use? Yes, it is called Can I Use. For example, you go on MDN, you, let's say, you go on, I'm gonna give you, because I've told you about overflow, about, sorry, about MDN on when I was talking about FreeCodecom. Um, let's say you learned something new on FreeCodecom. You go on MDN, you never heard about, let's say, overflow. What is overflow? You come in here, you type in overflow, you look it up, get the basic, just get the basics. You don't need to go in depth into it, okay? It is not that important to go in depth into it, because when you will be coding, you will be um you will be getting into new problems and you'll still learn. So you don't have to really go in depth into it. Just get the basics of it. Let's say now you've read all this. Let's say you've learned, you read the description, the main values of the overflow property. You had a glance on this. You skimmed through all the description, and then you want to know if it's available on all the browsers. Okay, this gives you a little bit of the information, but if you use Can I Use, it's also a very great way to learn which web browsers use what kind, if you can use everything on every web browser. So let's say overflow, the CSS property, right? Overflow. And here it shows you the whole history, what changed, right? Issues. It doesn't give you everything on here, but you can supplement MDN with Can I Use when it comes to browser compatibility. And those are the ways you can figure stuff out while you are learning um, web development. You don't have to pay for anything. You can just literally have everything for free on here. You don't have to pay for anything, but I would recommend buying books. If you want to make an investment, buying books is a great investment. But yeah, MDN is great because it's free and has a lot of information. Okay, another free web development resource I have come across is CSS Challenges. It is a great way to learn CSS, like literally just CSS. All you do here is use the after and pseudo, oh, sorry, after and before pseudo um, selectors to code CSS, and that's all you can use to create these to complete these challenges. You can't use HTML, you can't use JavaScript, GSS, CSS only. I haven't done all of these yet, but I've been introduced to these from a colleague at work. Um, and I have actually learned a lot about CSS from this. And all I did was, I think, were these beginner ones. Uh, I have done all these ones, these, and for now I think those are the only ones for now. Mostly because I've been focusing on other areas of web development, but I am coming back to this website for sure because it is a very great way to learn CSS and literally become like really good with CSS. I mean, look what you can achieve with just using CSS after and before pseudo elements. That is a great animation. I mean, that is impressive. What is even more impressive is literally when you come down over here, and when you can, in my opinion, when you can use the free resources provided anywhere, you'll do great things. Instead of instead of looking up the solutions, just try and think of creative ways to come up with the solutions, right? That's pretty much what it comes down to. And I'll definitely come back to this website because I want to create all of these. No, I think I finished that one because I started something new. But yeah, it is free. It is free. It gives you pretty much. It's not like FreeCodecom where it gives you when it holds your hands all the time. Pretty much just like lets you do whatever you want and see what kind of solution you can come up with. And any solution is great. Any solution is great. There's no one perfect solution. Okay? Anything you'll do is fine. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and see you in the next episode.